July 7, 1949, San Francisco Federal Courthouse. The woman sitting in the defendant's chair was 33 years old, Japanese-American, small and quiet. Her name, Iva Toguri D'Aquino. The charge, treason. The prosecutor turned to the jury. This woman was Tokyo Rose. During the war, she broadcast Japanese propaganda. She tried to demoralize American soldiers. She delivered enemy broadcasts to 50,000 troops. The jury nodded, but in the back rows of the courtroom, 7 men were sitting, former military intelligence officers. None of them spoke, because they knew the truth. Iva Toguri wasn't a traitor. She was a hero, but they couldn't say it, because the operation was still classified. If you enjoy these kinds of real stories from history's gray zones, where it's unclear whether someone is a hero or traitor, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Every week we share historical stories that were censored, forgotten, or wrongly told. Now let's continue with the story of Tokyo Rose, or Iva Toguri. July 4, 1916, Los Angeles, California. Iva Ikuko Toguri was born in Los Angeles. Her father, Jun Toguri, was a Japanese immigrant. He had come to America in 1899. Her mother, Fumi, was second-generation Japanese-American. Iva was completely American. Birthplace, Los Angeles. Education, American school system. Language, English. She knew very little Japanese. Identity, American citizen. She became a student at UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles. Zoology department. Graduated in 1940. Her dreams, become a doctor. Do scientific research. A quiet life. But 1941 changed everything. December 7th, 1941. Pearl Harbor. Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. America entered the war. And paranoia against Japanese Americans exploded. Iva's family lived in Los Angeles. But in July 1941, Iva had gone to Japan to visit her aunt. A temporary visit, a few months. Then she would return. But after Pearl Harbor, she couldn't get back. She had an American passport, but she couldn't get an exit visa from Japan. The Japanese government was keeping Americans in the country as potential exchange prisoners. Iva was stuck in Tokyo. In America, her family was sent to Manzanar internment camp, the camp where Japanese Americans were forcibly held. Iva's home, her job, her life, all gone. And Iva, on enemy soil, was alone. Iva was unemployed in Tokyo. No money. Her family was in camp in America, couldn't help. She had Japanese relatives, but they were poor too. Wartime. First, she worked as a typist. Then she did translation work. She knew English, which was rare, but the Japanese government constantly pressured her. Become a Japanese citizen. Iva refused. I'm American, she said. This refusal made her suspect. The Kempeitai, Japanese military police, interrogated her. Why don't you want to become Japanese? Because I'm American. But you're of Japanese blood. But I was born in America. This stubbornness brought Iva both respect and danger. Some Japanese found her brave. Some found her traitorous. In August 1943, Iva received a job offer at NHK, Nippon Hoso Kyokai, Japan Broadcasting Corporation Radio, to work as a typist. The salary was low, but better than unemployment. Iva accepted. While working at NHK, Iva was introduced to a program, 0 Hour. This was Japanese propaganda broadcasts aimed at American soldiers. Purpose: demoralize American troops, explain the futility of war, make them want to go home. The program's producers were mostly Australian and Filipino POWs, forced to work by the Japanese. Major Charles Cousins, an Australian radio producer, was the program's creative director, but Cousins was secretly sabotaging, making the propaganda so exaggerated it became comical, reducing its credibility. Cousins was looking for a female announcer, someone who could speak English like a native, with an American accent. He saw Iva. You speak English, Cousins said, and you have an American accent. Yes, Iva replied, I'm American. Perfect. I want you on the program. Iva hesitated. Will I be doing propaganda? Cousins quietly answered, You won't. You'll appear to be doing it. But actually, you'll be doing nothing. I'll write your script. You'll just read it, but the script will be so exaggerated that no one will believe it. Iva understood. Sabotage. Sabotage. But if the Japanese figure this out, they won't, because they don't understand English nuances. They can't distinguish between exaggeration and reality. Iva thought. She had no choice. Working at NHK was necessary to survive. Okay, she said, but I'll never say anything against America. Cousins smiled. You won't. We don't need words. You'll just play music and act like a funny character. And thus, Orphan Anne was born. Who was Orphan Anne? 0 Hour aired daily from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Target audience, American soldiers in the Pacific. Iva's character was Orphan Anne, her orphaned, lonely, a woman homesick for home. Her voice had fake cheerfulness. Hello, boys, she would start. This is Orphan Anne from Tokyo. I've got wonderful songs for you today. Then she played American music. Glenn Miller, Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, Duke Ellington. Soldiers loved it. Music that reminded them of home. But in between, there was propaganda. Very obvious, very exaggerated, completely unconvincing propaganda. Boys, you should go home. The war is so dangerous. And also your wives are home alone. Maybe they're dancing with other men. Maybe they're forgetting you. When American soldiers heard this, they laughed, because it was such terrible propaganda, it couldn't be taken seriously. Cousins' plan was working. The propaganda was sabotaging itself. But Iva didn't know that this bad propaganda was actually hiding something else. Coded messages, the operation Iva didn't know about. Iva Toguri just read the script Cousins gave her, played the music playlist, but actually, each broadcast was an intelligence operation. Cousins and the other POW producers, Wallace Ince, Norman Reyes, were secretly embedding coded messages. 1. Song selections, Malashaka coordinates. Each song title corresponded to a geographic coordinate. For example, Moonlight Serenade, Lombever 15 degrees north, 145 degrees east, Saipan region, White Christmas, 10 degrees south, 160 degrees east, Solomon Islands, Strike Up the Band, View for 20 degrees north, 160 degrees east, Solomon Islands, 136 degrees east, Mariana Islands. American intelligence analyzed these playlists, and they noticed song titles matched Japanese naval movements. 2. Word emphasis equals dates and times Iva read certain words with slightly more emphasis. Today is a wonderful day. Emphasized words corresponded to day numbers. Wonderful equals W equals 23rd letter equals 23rd day. Beautiful equals B equals second letter equals second day 3. Random comments equals Japanese morale status. In Iva's script, sometimes there were strange comments. Everyone in Tokyo is so happy. Or, the harbor is very quiet today. These comments were actually information about Japanese internal conditions. Everyone is so happy equals morale is low. Reverse code, harbor is very quiet. Monov harbor is active. Reverse code. But the critical question, did Iva know about these? Answer, no. Iva just read the script she was given, played the songs. She didn't know what Cousins was doing. She was just trying to survive. But after the war, America would hold her responsible for this. As the war progressed, the Japanese government became harsher. Food shortages began. Tokyo was being hit by American bombs. Iva was trying to survive under starvation and bombardment. In April 1945, Iva married Felipe D'Aquino, a Portuguese-Japanese man. To survive, married women receive more food rations. August 1945, atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan surrendered. The war ended. Iva breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, I can go home. But in September 1945, American occupation forces arrived in Tokyo, and journalists were looking for a story. Let's find Tokyo Rose. American media had written a lot about Tokyo Rose during the war, but Tokyo Rose wasn't actually a real person. She was a legend. Many women had broadcast on Japanese radio. Soldiers called them all Tokyo Rose, but the media wanted a face, a name, a traitor. On September 1st, 1945, two journalists, Harry Brundage, Cosmopolitan magazine, and Clark Lee, International News Service, found Iva. "Are you Tokyo Rose?" they asked. Iva foolishly said yes. "Yes, I worked on the radio. I played the character Orphan Anne." The journalist's eyes lit up. "Will you give an interview? We'll pay $2,000. Iva heard $2,000. That was a lot of money then. "Okay," she said. In the interview, Iva innocently explained, "I just played music. I didn't do propaganda. Actually, Cousins told me to sabotage." But the journalists didn't want to hear that. They wanted a sensational story. American woman worked for the enemy. October 17, 1945, a big article in Cosmopolitan, Tokyo Rose Speaks. The article portrayed Iva as a traitor. American citizen did propaganda for the Japanese. In America, outrage erupted. Calls for prosecute Tokyo Rose rose up. The American government arrested Iva. She was interrogated. 8 FBI agents were sent to Tokyo. They listened to Iva's broadcasts, questioned witnesses. Result: no crime found. The FBI report was clear. Iva Toguri did no propaganda. She only played music and read funny scripts written by Cousins. No violation of law. In October 1946, Iva was released. But American public opinion wasn't satisfied. The media was still shouting, "Punish Tokyo Rose." In 1948, political pressure increased. President Harry Truman was in an election campaign. He wanted a tough-on-traitors image. The Department of Justice received a new order: prosecute Iva Toguri at any cost. July 5, 1949, the trial began. Iva was brought to America. She was tried at San Francisco Federal Court. Charge: treason, 8 separate counts. Prosecutor Tom DeWolf made a harsh opening statement to the jury. This woman worked for the enemy during the war. She tried to demoralize American soldiers. She delivered Japanese propaganda to 50,000 troops. This is treason. Iva's lawyers, Wayne Collins and Theodore Tamba, presented the defense. Iva Toguri was forced to work. She worked on the radio to survive, but she did no propaganda. She played music. She read funny scripts. Even the FBI found no crime. But the prosecutor brought witnesses, and here a dark truth emerged. False witnesses, the perversion of justice. The prosecution brought 2 Japanese witnesses. Kenkichi Oki, former NHK producer George Mitsushio, former programming manager. Both testified Iva Toguri did propaganda. She announced that American ships had been sunk. She tried to demoralize troops. Iva's lawyers objected. These witnesses are lying. But the jury believed the witnesses. Years later, in 1976, it emerged both witnesses had lied. The FBI had pressured them to testify. If you don't testify against Toguri, we'll prosecute you as war criminals. The witnesses lied to survive. But in 1949, no one knew this. The jury deliberated for 13 hours. Verdict: 7 of 8 charges, not guilty. 1 charge, guilty. Count: on October 6, 1944, she announced that an American ship had been sunk and referred to it as wonderful news. Iva was shocked, but I never said such a thing. The court reached its decision. Sentence: 10 years prison, plus $10,000 fine. Iva cried. Her lawyers appealed, but the decision was final, and the 7 former intelligence officers sitting in the back rows of the courtroom quietly stood and left. None of them spoke. Iva was held at federal prison, Alderson, West Virginia. She served 6 years, 2 months. In prison, she was a model inmate. never had any disciplinary problems, served her sentence quietly. On January 28, 1956, she was released early for good behavior, but her punishment hadn't ended. Iva returned to Chicago. She worked at her father's small shop, lived quietly, didn't tell anyone the truth. But America didn't forgive her. The media continued to label her as traitor. Every year, newspapers reminded, Tokyo Rose, American traitor. Iva had been married to Felipe D'Aquino, but the marriage ended in 1980. The long separation and pressure destroyed the relationship. She never had children. She lived alone, and quietly, she waited for justice to come. Chicago Tribune journalist Ron Yates became interested in Iva's story. He did research, examined old files. What he found, FBI's 1946 report, no crime found. False witnesses. Oki and Mitsushio admitted they had lied. They were under pressure. Declassified documents. In 1976, some classified documents were released. Inside, zero-hour program was used as an intelligence source. Yates published a series of articles. Tokyo Rose, an American tragedy. The articles had a bombshell effect. Public opinion was shocked. Was Iva Toguri innocent? January 19, 1977. Pardon. President Gerald Ford, in his final days, his term was ending, made a decision. Presidential pardon. Document. Iva Toguri D'Aquino's 1949 conviction was based on false testimony. It was an unjust trial. She is pardoned. When Iva heard the news, she was working at her shop in Chicago. She was 60 years old. It took 28 years, she said quietly. But finally, someone saw the truth. The pardon restored Iva's citizenship. But no refund, no apology, no compensation. Iva continued living quietly, gave interviews, told the truth, but her pain never went away. In 2006, on her 90th birthday, the Japanese American Veterans Association honored her. You suffered injustice, we apologize. Iva replied through tears. It took 60 years, but thank you. September 26, 2006, the end. Iva Toguri D'Aquino died in Chicago. She was 90 years old. Natural causes. Her funeral was small. Her family, a few friends, and a few former soldiers, those who had served in the Pacific, who had listened to Zero Hour. One retired soldier spoke at the funeral. I served in the Pacific. I listened to Orphan Ann. We never thought she was a propagandist. We just listened for the music. And the music took us home. It gave us hope. Another soldier added, Iva Toguri was a hero, but America saw her as a traitor for 28 years. That's our shame. The remaining question, was Tokyo Rose really an agent? After 2006, researchers examined declassified documents. What they found, Operation Orphan Ann, secret intelligence operation. Documents showed Cousins and other POW producers deliberately embedded coded messages. American intelligence deciphered these messages. 127 pieces of intelligence were obtained from zero-hour broadcasts, Japanese naval movements, harbor activities, morale conditions. But the critical question, did Iva know about this? Documents, no. Iva was classified as an unknowing asset. She just read the script, played the songs, didn't know the codes. So Iva Toguri unknowingly helped American intelligence, but America punished her for it. Today, Iva Toguri's story is taught as an example of wrongful prosecution, a case study in American law schools. In Chicago, Iva's shop is gone now, but there's a memorial plaque. Iva Toguri D'Aquino, 1916 to 2006, suffered injustice, pardoned in 1977, will not be forgotten. And at the Pentagon, among declassified documents, there's a small note. Iva Toguri, unknowing intelligence asset, Operation Orphan Ann, 127 pieces of intelligence, never acknowledged, never honored, never apologized to. Just quietly pardoned after 28 years. There was no Tokyo Rose, there was only Iva Toguri, a woman trying to survive. America made her a traitor. Japan made her a propaganda weapon. But the truth was different from both. She played a game no one saw, and she won the game. But no one applauded.